happening in D.C., it's enough to make you wonder who's really running the party, who is the leadership. So at an American First rally in Texas last night, Marjorie Taylor Greene bragged about her efforts at holding up Congress. Now, take a listen to this.
So Steny Hoyer, you know, he's the leader over there in the majority party, and he'd be stomping over to Kevin McCarthy's office. What are you going to do about her, Kevin? Well, let me tell you, Kevin can't do anything about me.
So, you know, Kevin may have the title of minority leader, but Marjorie Taylor Greene's got the title of, hey, I'm running this. What do you think?
Yeah, it's your party has become pathetic, Michael. As you know, my dad was chairman of the Republican
Yes,
Party.
he was.
So
He was.
That's how I have daddy issues with you to start. But I would like to get back to a place where we all can fight about real issues, where I wouldn't want to hang out with any of all y'alls because you're all Republicans. But, you know, Michael, you told me on my radio show, when we get back to that day, you said, you know, I am the scorpion that's going to sting you when we get to the other side of the river. But I think we all just want to get to the other side of the river where we're talking about real issues and not to name drop another chairman. But, you know, Jamie Harrison was just on my show on Friday and said the Republican Party has become the party of fear, fraud, and fascism. And prove him wrong. Prove him wrong based on what is going on right now. I don't think it's a party my dad would recognize. I'm sure you don't.
No, not at all. And that's what's so powerful, actually, about that clip from someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, particularly given that she's a member of Congress sitting without any responsibility. She just shows up and wreaks havoc. And that's a sad thing, David. I mean, all of this positioning for McCarthy to stay in the good graces of the Freedom Caucus might not even work out for him. I mean, if you stop and look at it, if the Republicans take back the House in the midterms, the Freedom Caucus is likely going to try to install someone other than McCarthy as the new speaker, someone like Jim Jordan or Matt Gaetz. Who's going to win that power struggle, or how do you see that playing out?
No, Michael, you hit the nail on the head. It also explains McCarthy's endorsement in Wyoming. Look, this is a weak-kneed coward who is currently in the position of minority leader. He is desperate to be Speaker of the House. He would give part of his anatomy to be Speaker of the House. Recall that in 17 or 18, when Boehner was ousted, McCarthy thought he had the votes. He actually lost the votes within his own conference, could not become Speaker. So he has done everything he could. He wakes up every day trying to figure out how to be Speaker. And what that means in an evenly divided House like we have right now, you see him endorse people like Greene and Gaetz and all the crazies, or at least embrace them because he needs every vote he can get. He thinks Cheney's going down, so he's going to endorse her opponent. But watch what happens. If the House stays tight, he won't have the votes to be Speaker of the House because of Greene and Gaetz and others. More importantly, and this is perfect Kevin McCarthy, if Republicans pick up 40, 50, 60 seats, he'll throw all the crazies to the side because he won't need them anymore, and he'll suggest he's the responsible Republican leader now.
That is such an excellent point. It is such a McCarthy move. And I think that's something that a lot of the Freedom Caucus folks recognize and why they feel the way they do. So, Kurt, when you've got Congresswoman Mace, for example, standing out there eating crow ever since she bent the knee to Trump outside of Trump Tower, some elected Republicans who've crossed Trump are opting to throw in the towel instead. Illinois Congressman Adam Kinzinger of Ohio, Congressman Anthony Gonzalez, and New York Congressman John Katko all voted to impeach Trump after January 6th and have now announced they'll retire rather than stay in Congress. How dangerous is that for the party? I mean, in particular in light of what was just said about the possible, pickups of seats, they're also having to figure out how to hold some seats as well. True?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's happening here is this lurch to the right, to this embrace of extremism and fascism and authoritarianism that the Republican Party is awash in right now has pushed out some moderate establishment-type voices. I mean, this isn't a party anymore that welcomes a Michael Steele or a David Jolly. They see you guys as the enemy, even more so at times than Democrats. We look at how the far-right propaganda outlets cover the Republican Party. They make people like you guys who speak common sense and believe in traditional conservative values, they see you as a greater enemy than Joe Biden or the Democratic Party. And that is why there's, in my opinion, there's no return to normalcy for this Republican Party. And that's why, for me personally, why I joined the Democratic Party back in 2016 and why I still can cling to the hope that people like you and David will come over and join us too sometime, because we are the Big Tent Party, Mike.
Yeah, we got some issues to work out first, though. Let me tell you. That's going to be a hell of a negotiation.
Michael, point of privilege here. Only in Washington is half a tent considered big. That's true of both sides of the aisle. Just because you have moderates doesn't make you a big tent.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You got some ish on that side you got to work out first, Kurt. So, Stephanie, that to Kurt's point, it raises some very interesting posts as we go forward. When you look at, for example, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and other Republican presidential hopefuls trying to split the difference between their own ambitions and showing proper deference to Donald Trump. How do you see that playing out? Everybody's kind of hanging their hat on the race in Virginia. That's the path forward. I'm like, folks, trust me, that's an aberration because the primary there was very different.
Yeah, it's pathetic. I mean, I don't know where this goes, particularly if Trump's in jail by then. That's going to be particularly funny. But, Nancy Mace and these people that are, spoke the truth and now they're sucking up to him in front of Trump Tower. I mean, what's your next commercial with a ball gag in like the Gimp's basement in Pulp Fiction, like begging forgiveness? I mean, it's pathetic.
Okay, so with that image left for everybody to ponder, David, Kurt, Stephanie, don't go anywhere. Still ahead, Texas Republicans are attempting to suppress the mail-in vote. But what they don't understand is they're shooting themselves in the foot. I'll explain. Plus, Melania Trump says she's been canceled by a school in Oklahoma. Confused? We'll try to set the former First Lady straight. But first, Richard Louis is here with some headlines. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Michael. Hope you're having a great evening. We have more news on that breaking news in Ukraine. President Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin have agreed in principle to hold a summit on the Ukraine crisis following this week's meeting between Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Foreign Minister Lavrov. Both summits will only take place so long as Russia does not proceed with military action. As of today, close to 200,000 Russian troops are currently at the border of Ukraine. Queen Elizabeth has tested positive for COVID-19. This comes a few weeks after the celebration of the monarch's 70th year on the throne. The Queen has mild cold-like symptoms and expects to continue light duties over the coming week. And LGBTQ activist Fausto Martinez is the first person in Mexico to be issued a birth certificate recognizing their gender as non-binary. Martinez made the first attempt to identify non-binary on legal documents a year ago, but was denied by the National Electoral Institute. Martinez stressed the significance of this moment, saying, quote, "It is a collective achievement of non-binary people in Mexico." More Ayman right after this break.